everyone, it's Brandi from Ignite. Well, most of you know me. You're all on camera and I'm behind the camera, and now I get to be on camera and I'm so nervous. So show me some love out there in the comments, and yes, you can ask questions in the comments, but I have broken down some kind of critical questions that are asked by a lot of you, a lot of actors in Vancouver that I see on social media, into 15 different parts. So I'm going to try and address some of the main concerns, and then hopefully you guys can add some new questions to that as well. New Image College is putting this on. They're doing a series of different talks with different actors and makeup artists from their college campus, and it's fantastic. I'm so glad I get to share with everyone because there's so many unknowns out there. So don't forget, if you want to participate and watch more of these, you got to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications, just so that you get notifications on all the other great classes that they're offering online while we're all at home and away from each other. And for all of you with Ignite, I miss you guys. I miss our workshops together. So I'm just going to give you a little intro about Ignite. Ignite's a pretty new agency. It's been around for almost 2 years now. I've been an agent for at least 5, and I've loved my journey with Ignite, and I think we have the greatest roster, best looking and great actors out there. And I'm so privileged to be your agent. For everyone that's joined, I really appreciate that you've taken this time to join us. I do want to give you a disclaimer about what I'm going to say. I don't have all of the answers. This is just things that I've learned in my life. So please take everything I say with a grain of salt. There's nothing perfect in this industry. We're all human. Yeah, so, you know, just take it all with a grain of salt. It's just my experience. I'm not always right. Ask my boyfriend and my mother. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. So I've made kind of a PowerPoint presentation just so you guys can see some of the notes and the main things I'm going to chat about. So the first question I always get is, what does an agent do? Yeah, so we submit you for work, but we do a lot more than that as well. We try and be coaches and champion you, and we believe in you. We get to know all the softwares and get to know our people, and hopefully give you advice on where to go, upload your tapes. Yeah, so that's what an agent does. We sit in the office and we're on our phone every single day, all day. What's a typical day like for an agent? Your phone starts ticking at 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, gets really busy by 8, 9, 10 o'clock. Yeah, what does an agent do? Is that slide? Yeah, I talk a lot. That's Amir, the director, by the way, everyone. He's making me look good. So what's a typical day like? It's busy all day, all the time, and it's a lot of fun. I just want everyone to think about, when you're an actor, you're one actor, and an agent has maybe 30 people that are doing different projects within a given amount of time. And so a lot of people wait until last minute to send things to their agent. And I would encourage you to try not to do that, because if your agent gets all 30 self-tapes, for example, in 3 hours, and there's quite a deadline, if there's any problems with the audio or video or anything, it could not be a good audition or self-tape for you, and the tape might not even get through. So try to address things as quickly as possible. I know you have busy lives, but if you do get the opportunity for an audition or self-tape, jump on it right away. And then if you do have questions or concerns, reach out to your agent right away. Because we're so busy, it's crazy. I have 2 cell phones that never stop. And that's without social media dinging all the time too. Can you have more than one agent? I get that question all the time. You can in different areas, but it depends on what agency you're with. Some agencies don't like you to have other agents, some do. If you have a principal agent, you can have a different commercial agent, again, depending on the agency. A background too, some people have one background agent, one principal, one modeling agent. It becomes a little bit tough for you and the agents, because things come up last minute, as you know, in this industry. And being able to organize your schedule is really important, because if you miss an audition or you can't go to a big opportunity because you've already booked something else with a different agency, it becomes quite tough to stay organized. So you can have more than one agent, not in the same arena. You can't have 2 principal agents, because we all use the same software and submit you for the same project. So you kind of have to find one that you like, know, and trust. It's really important. How do you find different agencies? There's 113, I believe, currently licensed in British Columbia. So there's great websites like creativebc.ca, Vancouver Actors Guide. Employment Standards has a list of all the ones that have actually certified themselves. And it's really important that you check out all of them and get to know the principals of that agency, not the principal actors, but what's important to that agency, what their experience is. Talk to other actors before you sign with anyone, and really make sure you're making the right decision for you. Everyone gets excited, oh, I need an agent, but at the end of the day, we're working together for your dreams, right? So it's really important that you know what your values are and what's important for you in an agent before you sign with anyone. And shop around, and maybe you're at the very beginning of your career and you don't have much experience yet, and you apply to 30 different agencies and only one gets back to you. And it's not the one you wanted, but at least you have someone championing you for the first year, and you can learn and grow with them, and then maybe move on to a different agency beyond that. How do you apply to an agency? Properly. This is really important for me because I see so many great new actors out there, and they will send emails with things that really aren't in the industry, aren't required in the industry. It'll be like a really bad selfie, or I've even got some random like nude modeling photos, and they say I want to be a principal actor on TV, and then they'll write this beautiful letter about why they want to be an actor. But at the end of the day, these are huge budget projects, and they need the right person for the job with the right training. So before you apply to an agency, get some training and figure out what you need to submit. Most agent websites will have what they need from you. And I would honestly wait. If you're looking for a principal agent, wait until you have all the things that they ask for. Don't go at it halfway, right? It's really important. Next page. Does anyone have any questions about that, though? What does an agent do? What's a typical day of an agent? Before I move on to anything else? I'm just looking over here to see the list of questions. Oh, I miss you guys. Thank you, Joanna. Oh, thanks, Berlin. I'm nervous. I'm never in front of the camera. I don't see any questions coming up yet. Okay, I'll keep going, but there'll be lots of time for questions, guys, I promise. So what do you need before you apply? That one's I touched on a little bit. Training, proper headshots, and a self-tape or a demo clip. I wouldn't apply for a principal agency to represent you for film and TV if you don't have at least the basics of those three things. You don't want to waste an opportunity because, I mean, I know Ignite, when we're super busy, we get between 20 and 50 submissions a week from new people that want to join our agency. And if we're all so busy, it's a busy industry, right? Now it's slowed down, we can take some time to perfect some things. But if we get emails, like just 2 days ago, I received a resume from a lovely young woman, and you could tell she was really passionate, but there were more spelling mistakes and grammar errors in there, and she had modeling photos, and she said she wanted to be an actor, and I wanted to reach out to her and be like, hey, you know, you seem like a lovely person, but I can't even consider you because of this, but we just don't have time. So give yourself a leg up if you haven't got an agent yet, or you're looking for a new agent. Yeah, just really prepare a nice package. You want to give them who you are and show that you have proper professional headshots and a proper training resume. You can't just go in. I've gotten McDonald's resumes coming to me with people saying they want to be an actor, and that's not what they're looking for. We're looking for actors' resumes, which I'll touch on a little bit later, because that's really important. Okay, any questions about what do I need before I apply to an agent? Thanks, Elsie. Nope. No? Okay, cool. Awesome. The next slide is expectations versus reality. A lot of people have really high expectations of auditions all the time. You have to be working for you. Your agent can only do so much. We submit all day long because we only make money if we get you booked, right? So we're constantly submitting. I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning pressing submit, sleep for an hour, go again because I love my job. But you have to be looking for your own opportunities as well. It's really important. I don't know, 15 years ago, there were 3,000 actors. Everyone knew who they were. Now there's social media, everything's online. Everybody wants to be an actor. You can submit anywhere in the world right now because all the profiles and jobs are all over. Like you look on Backstage, that website, for example, and you see things all over North America. So you're seeing more opportunities worldwide, but there's also more people competing worldwide. So some people have these high expectations of 1 audition a week or 2 auditions a week. It's not that quick, guys. You have to really believe in yourself and know why you're doing this. We've talked about this in some of our workshops. I know all of you that are with Ignite, you've probably heard me say, what's your why? Why are you doing this? Because if you don't know why you want to be an actor and have feelings so strong to do it, you'll come up against a lot of barriers. It's a very tough career to do. You have to be super passionate, super driven, and continue training and don't give up no matter what if it's really what you want to do. So know why you want to be an actor and have that on your wall every day when you wake up and every day when you leave your house, and know when you walk out into the world, I am an actor. Present yourself as such all the time, because the reality is there's so many people that want to be famous now. I know most of you on our roster are dedicated actors who want to tell a story and want to move people. I want to change things and make people cry and make people smile and make the world feel something, and that's why you're doing this, and I love that. But there's so many other people that are like, oh, I have 10,000 Instagram followers, I should be an actress because I'm pretty. Like, that is the reality, and so casting directors are getting 2,000 headshots submitted for certain roles, so there's so much competition now. So you really have to set your expectations in reality and be looking to create your own stuff and going out for indies and hustling. I keep teasing some of our actors. If you ask me for a submissions list, I'm going to ask you for one back, because I want to see that you're submitting yourself too for projects to show that you're just as keen and eager as I am. Yeah, does anyone have questions about that at all? No? Okay, I'll keep looking back at the screen. The next slide is mental health. This industry is tough. Like I was just talking about expectations versus reality. It's a really tough industry. There's so much rejection, but you have to look at it as not rejection. If you go into an audition room and you don't get the part, you weren't rejected. You were showing the casting director who you are, and it's opportunities for future things. Don't let that get you down. It's fun, it's play. You're getting the chance to do what you love. If you truly love being an actor and sharing your message and story, just think of it as play. It's like going to the sandbox when you're a kid and having fun building sandcastles. Now you get to show your art and share it with people. So just know that. You're not being rejected because of you. There's so many factors that go into casting. It's tough. Staying motivated. It's tough to stay motivated with your mental health in this industry because there's so many ups and downs. So it's really important, like I said, the why, to have things that are constantly showing you why you're passionate about what you do. I know I watch one of my favorite movies at least twice a year ever since I was a kid, and it just reaffirms why I love great acting and great actors, and it's like, oh, it's lovely. So things like that to keep you motivated, and working with great people and finding people in your agency or other actors that will continue to push you and motivate you and create great new content. And then obviously audition anxiety. I would highly recommend everyone take anxiety coaching. For your life and for acting. There's so many great little techniques that you can do, pressure points on your body and breathing techniques and things like that that will help you not only in your regular day-to-day life, especially during tough times like this, but also before you go into an audition. Because confidence is a huge thing when you're going into an audition room. If you're not proud of who you are and what you're bringing to that casting director, they'll see that. And that gets them nervous because they can't then send you to a director and say, okay, I believe in this person, they did kind of good, but they're shy, you know? So anxiety gets in our way sometimes. So I would really look in to see how you can take opportunities to really figure out how to have inner peace and calm before an audition and for life. Yeah. Any questions on mental health? No, not yet? Okay, cool. I'll go to the next slide then. The next one's your inner circle. This one's really, really crucially important. You should have a professional inner circle. Your personal inner circle can be whatever you want. Your professional one should be people that are, I don't want to say better than you because that sounds harsh, but yes, people that are more advanced in their careers as actors, producers, directors, writers, etc. in your chosen field. People that have accomplished more than you because they will raise you up. There's so many people that they're lovely and they'll do group tapes with their friends, and their friends are nowhere near as trained actors as they are, and it brings them down, and they're not learning anything from them. So I would look around you and look at different acting groups, and I mean, even on social media, you can find great opportunities to network with people that are better than you at what you're trying to achieve, right? I would volunteer as much as possible with anyone in the industry that's at a higher level than you. Some people poo-poo volunteer work, but some of the greatest opportunities that I personally have had, and I know some of our actors have had, have come because they stepped up and said, hey, I'd love to help you. Can I help you do this? I will be crafty, or I will clean the set after. And it just shows that you're so passionate to be on set, and people want to work with those kind of people, because in this day and age, I mean, we kind of navel gazers sometimes. There's so much going on in the world that it's hard to look around. And sometimes we're always down here, right? And people want to work with people that go that extra mile. And so I would look at your circle. I like to call it inner circle. I would find 5 to 7 people that you really, really, really know that you could add value to their life, and they will add value to yours. And make that your mission. If this is your goal and your dream for the rest of your life, to be a professional actor and have that be your career, find those people and go after opportunities to work with them. It's super important. Ask yourself over and over, do they add value to my life? I did the same thing with some of my colleagues and friends years ago. I hang out with them once or twice a year now, and it's not because I don't love them to death still, but I had to put my mind in a really healthy place to achieve my goals. Because a lot of you know I also run a mental health nonprofit for youth and another for adults, and that's really important to me. And so I had to kind of put aside some of the things in my life that weren't adding value to my big goals and dreams. Because there's so much, you're being bombarded by everything in life right now, and it's tough, right? So really look at that. Look at your personal inner circle and look at your professional inner circle, and just make sure that you're building one that's so strong that they can do nothing but elevate you. It's not always easy. Oh, I see some questions coming. Awesome. Do you recommend reaching out to casting directors for part of your circle? Definitely not. Casting directors are your biggest champions, guys. They love actors so much, but like agents, they're so busy. They have so much pressure on them because they have these huge production companies that are giving them this budget and this huge goal to cast people, and they're under a ton of pressure to do their job right. And when you do, imagine if you did 60 auditions in a day. That's 60 people coming in there and giving you their best and giving you their energy, and you're coaching them, and then you have to watch all those tapes and decide who you're going to send through to the production company or whatever, or whoever I should say. It's exhausting. You're constantly giving your energy, and it's not that they don't want to chat with you and hang out with you. It's just there's too many actors and too few casting directors, and their jobs are so busy and so much pressure. So I wouldn't reach out to them at all. Your agent could potentially give you some information on different casting directors, but even I know a lot of our actors have reached out and asked if they could be readers for casting, and they kind of have their people already. Sometimes opportunities come up. I have noticed a couple. I know Sydney's here. She got to read. Yeah, I see that. Hi, Sydney. She got to read with one of our casting directors because she asked us. And that was great. But yeah, I wouldn't reach out to casting directors. They're way too busy. They don't even like it sometimes when agents submit directly via email because they're just so busy. They need to do it through the 3 softwares that they're utilizing, right? Do you recommend how? Wow, I'm getting blind in my old age. How would you go about reaching out to casting directors if that's the case? Yeah, I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't. If they have social media, you could follow them, but I wouldn't message them on there. You might want to like their posts and make constructive comments or compliments to them on there, but I wouldn't private message them. It would kind of be like an invasion of privacy. You have to remember there's 20,000 actors in Vancouver and 20 casting directors. So they're bombarded all the time from us agents, from actors, from producers, from everyone. So thank you. Oh, it unplugged the TV. Yeah, it's all good. I'll get back to questions shortly. I just lost my TV feed because I'm blind. Yeah, but that's really important, your personal versus professional. I just reach out to producers, even grads from great acting schools in Vancouver. Reach out to them that are producing their first couple indies and volunteer to work with them, audition for them, because they could be the next Steven Spielberg, and you never know the opportunities that might come to you from that, and you're going to learn so many different things. We have a new agent that joined our team fairly recently named Asha. Asha's amazing. She worked in production for 22 years. She's worked with casting directors. She knows a ton of great stuff, and she's currently working on a 25-page booklet. She's going to pare it down a little bit, but she's putting together some stuff that she's really wants you all to know about production and that side of things. And that way you can learn more about every facet of the industry. So great content for Ignite Artist people coming from Asha very soon. I'm looking forward to reading it myself too, because I haven't done the production side. I've only done the agenting side of the industry, so it's kind of cool that I'll get that opportunity to read that as well with you guys. So yeah, I would just look how you can create a great professional circle, and I'll have the questions back up shortly. My next slide that's going to come up as soon as our feed is back on is do it right, not fast. Stop trying to get every audition. Get the right ones. Stop trying to get just headshots just to have headshots. Get the right headshots. Build the right training. Don't just take every training that's out there just because. Find out what's right for you. Know who you are to your core as an actor, what your why is, why you're here, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, where you need to improve. Long before you start submitting or getting an agent even. I know you guys are gung-ho and you're heart-centered people and you're creative. Thank you. Perfect. Yeah. Could you make the question screen a little bit bigger? It's close enough though. It's awesome. Oh, I see more questions coming up. Let me see. Question for you. Is it possible to have a thriving acting career without having good social media? Oh yeah, totally. I mean, social media is fairly new. I think it's really important if you do have social media to have a good one, to make it clean, concise. If you're doing tequila shots off your neighbor's belly button, it's probably not something you want to convey to the whole world if you want to be a big actor, because you never know if productions are going to go and look to that. I know that there are people that have gotten opportunities via social media. We actually have had some luck with that randomly with US casting directors. But it's not going to make or break your career by any means. I mean, if you're getting 2,500, 1,000 submissions per role, the casting director is looking at your headshot first to see if what they picture, and then they're going to your resume to see if you have the training and watching some demo clips to see if you're the right person for it. I think then down the line, if it's for a bigger role or something, they may go to your social media. I know there's some commercials and smaller indie projects that have asked me to send our actors social media, so it's nice to tidy and clean that up. I'm going to talk a little bit about social media a bit later too, because it is pretty important, but I don't think it's a make or break by any means, Tristan. If you develop a relationship with a studio or director on set, would you recommend letting your agent know? Oh yes, Elsie, great question. Yeah, if you develop a relationship with someone while you're on set, let your agent know right away. I mean, that's so great. We have actors that have moved from Toronto to LA or LA to Atlanta, and they had great connections with Toronto casting directors before they moved to Atlanta, for example. And so I've asked them, I said, okay, can you give me a list, because I'm submitting them in Toronto still, even though they're living in Atlanta or LA or whatever. Give me a list of who you've worked with before and who you connected with before and who you've auditioned for many times. And that way it helps me to know what they've called them in for in the past, if I can give an extra little push, because some casting directors really love the email pushes and some of them say, hey, just submit through software, we're too busy. So yeah, that's a really great question. Yeah, definitely let your agent know. Let me know. What do you think about unpaid work like student films? I mean, the more that I need to know in what respect a little bit, Rodrigo. Can you give me more insight into that question? I mean, I think it's great to do student films for practice, to get to know people. You always have to be cautious of, like, read the script first to make sure it's something that suits you and that's going to add value to your career. I'm going to say that all the time, add value. When you, like, anything that you do, make sure it's something that adds value to your life and your career as an actor. Super crucial. So student films, especially when the student films are near the end, like say they've gone through a 2-year program. If they're near the end, they've got all the skills down. They're probably going to make something that's really great because it's for their final exam, and you'll want to be a part of that. But if they're at the very beginning, sometimes it never comes to fruition, or it takes 2 years to get edited, or maybe you never get your clips at all and that's what you were doing it for. I think it's great if you want to build, instead of just doing self-tapes in your home, to build an actual demo reel of different scenes with different characters. Look at what characters you know that you could rock, and then try and audition for those. That way you can get some great content that's who you are as an actor, right? I hope that answered your question a little bit. Like I said, I love volunteering. I volunteer all the time. I quit my job and moved to LA 7 years ago and volunteered for 6 months at a homeless shelter where all these celebrities and actors volunteered all the time. And I wasn't doing it for that. I was doing it because they needed a teacher, and I was their teacher for their high school grads. But I met so many incredible humans while I was doing that. It elevated my life. Like Dick Van Dyke was there all the time. And he came at Christmas every year. He came for Christmas. He would play the banjo. Mr. T would show up all the time. The Lakers would show up all the time. And we get to chat and network with these people. And they'd invite us to these amazing fundraisers and events just because we were there. So I think unpaid work is the greatest work that you can do sometimes. It opens your heart. It opens your mind. It gives you some great cred. And you never know the people you're going to meet, because people that show up just because they're passionate about something, those are the people you want to work with and network with, in my opinion. Yeah. Thanks, Rodrigo. Ginger, for self-tapes, should we use original work, or is it okay to build our tapes with scenes but change the names? Sorry, should we use original work, or is it okay to build our tapes with scenes but change the names? I don't think I'm understanding the question. For self-tapes, should we use original work? Original work like a script that you've written? Is that what you're going for? I think maybe. Ginger, let me know. Sorry, I'm not understanding the question, but I am going to talk a little bit about self-tapes further. Let me jump back into this, because I think I'm going to answer most of these questions, and then hopefully you guys can fill in some gaps for me. So I'm going back to the do it right, not fast. Get an agent when you're ready. Apply for jobs when you're ready. How do you know if you're ready? Ask people. That inner circle of people that are already more successful than you in the career that you want to be in, ask them. Take training, get classes, talk to lots of different people. Don't just get one opinion. Don't just get your agent's opinion or your friend's opinion or your mom's opinion. Get a lot of different opinions, because like I said at the beginning, my disclaimer, none of us are always right. We're human, we're fallible. You know, you're going to learn so much from every person you ask, and you should have at least a resume of acting training, proper acting training, not just a YouTube channel or anything like that. It's a cool experience, but if you're going to be on TV and movies, you need to put in the work. And proper headshots that convey who you are and what roles you could go out for, and then hopefully a couple demo clips or self-tapes that show who you are as an actor. That's the bare minimum for sure. So do it right, not fast, because if you rush in fast, you will lose opportunities, big ones potentially. Imagine if you go to a casting director twice. They love your look, they think your resume is great, and you go in there and you completely bomb both times because you weren't 100% ready, or you didn't have the skills necessary. They may not call you in for a year, and your agent might be like, you know what, you never get called in anymore, see you later. You don't want to lose out on great opportunities because you're not ready. Like, do the work, put in the work. Okay, the next one is shut the door. Yeah, by training for sure. Damien? Yeah. Sorry, I'm a little blind. What you've been into the classes or credentials you have? Yeah, an actor's resume, I'll talk about that a little bit later. There's certain things that casting directors look for depending on what you're going for. For commercials, there's different things than principal acting work, but it's really crucial. Like, I'm gonna talk a little bit later about being a professional as an actor, and I'll kind of answer that question in better detail, I promise. Nice, Franny, awesome. So shut the door is my next slide. Everyone on the Ignite roster has probably already heard this because I've done this exercise a couple times. Nailing 1, 2, or 3 lines is harder than 3 pages. You have so much less to go on when you have 3 lines or 3 words. They can be interpreted in so many different ways. You don't have a whole bunch of context around you. If practice 3 to 5 lines maximum when you're first starting out. Nail them, self-tape them over and over again, and watch yourself and see and get feedback from people. It's great, you're passionate, you want to do a 7-page sides to prove that you're a great actor. The toughest stuff is the small stuff, the inflection and all that kind of, really important to focus on those. So everyone that's like fairly new, brand new, just got out of school, finished training, work on the 1, 2, and 3 line things. They're really tough, but they really show that you've committed to that character and you've done the breakdown, you've given yourself knowledge about the roles that you're going to play. I mean, those are really tough. Work on those first. Yeah. So many people want to go gung-ho and be like, I could be the lead tomorrow. But trust me, work on the little things. Casting offers the same thing. And those are probably the auditions you're going to be offered at the beginning anyway. So work on the little things. Shut the door can be said in so many different ways. If it's a man fighting with his wife and he screams, shut the door, that's very different than me winking at someone and being like, hey, shut the door. You know, those are two very different contexts, and you can take them in many different ways. Two kids can be mischievous and it's shut the door. So things like that. Work on small stuff. Hone that. Share it with people. Get feedback. Continue to train. Yeah, you'll know strengths and weaknesses and things like that. Okay, my next slide, actor's resume. So this is what, so many people rush out and get headshots. I've had so many actors apply and say, I want to be an actor. I want to be on TV. I'm great for Riverdale. Look at my look. Here's my headshot. I've spent $500 on these headshots. And then I said, oh, awesome. Can you send me your actor's resume? And it's either their regular resume, or it's a bunch of stuff about how passionate they are about acting, and then like 2 workshops that they took at the bottom. There's a formula for an actor's resume. It's there on the screen. It's boring, but it's clean and gives the answers that casting needs. Sometimes I get applications that are resumes 4 pages long. Guys, nobody's reading 4 pages. They don't have time. We don't have time for that. You want to give them exactly what you want. I mean, I'm 35 now. I worked at McDonald's when I was 14. I worked at Subway when I was 17. I worked in oil and gas when I was 20. I worked as a teacher in China when I was 18. I don't have those things on my resume anymore. So you have to cut the stuff from the past that you don't need anymore and keep what's fresh. Make it a clean, clear 1-pager and have it be in the right formula, just like you're seeing on the screen now. It's column 1, column 2, and column 3. Google it. Google actors' resumes and look at them. It's not hard, and the great thing is we have these softwares now that have formats for each software for different types of resumes, and they're in there and they do it for you. So take the time, do the research. Like I was mentioning before, the resume I got a couple days ago, the person seemed really lovely, but their resume was so bad. It actually broke my heart a little bit because they seemed like a lovely person, but it was just so chaotic. It was too much. You want to give them, bam, this is who I am, bam, this is the professional training I have. Would you like to work with me? It's the same kind of thing, right? You wouldn't apply to Ignite Artists, for example, if our website had nothing on it, but hey, we're an agency, send us your stuff, you know? Like, you want to have great content, you want to show who you are, and that wants to be clean and organized, because we want to work with people that are clean and organized. We can't refer you with our word to a casting director or casting to a production if they don't know that you're going to be professional about it. So Google actors' resumes. Look at this format. Keep it clean. Take a class on the business of acting. That's really, really crucially important. And don't send an actor's resume that's full of fluff. Nobody wants fluff. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter how lovely or sweet you are, how passionate you are about acting. You need to have the tools to back it up, right? It's a profession, like any other. Okay, I'm popping over to headshots now. I think less is more for sure, Rodrigo. Yeah, definitely less is more. Okay, so headshots. So this is the first slide for headshots. I have 3. This one I just put up because this is one of our actors. His name is Gabriel. He's lovely. He gave me permission to use this photo. A lot of people rush out and get glamour photos, model photos, where they look pretty, where they're super happy and smiling. Imagine if you're going for a feature film and it's about something with emotion and like real beauty in the character. You know when you look into a person's eyes if they're passionate or if they're in pain. Capturing that in a headshot is really great. I mean, look at Gabriel's face in that photo. It's not a perfect headshot, but you feel his eyes draw you in. They're like, bam, so many people are like, oh, I'm gonna do character photos, so I'm gonna put on a suit in one photo and a waiter outfit in another photo and a doctor's jacket in another. If your face doesn't have an emotion to make the human heart to stir, because casting agents, we all love that. Like, that's why we love working with actors, because you guys are so passionate. We want to see that in your eyes. So slide number 2 is talking about range. This is another one of our actresses. Take your headshots and put them side by side and say to yourself, do these convey characters that I can be cast for? Does it show who I am? Does it show my personality? Is there a difference between them so that my agent doesn't just have one look? They can submit for a variety of different looks depending on the role, because we're going to pick a different headshot depending on what role we're submitting you for. Like, a happy mom might be different than a druggie living on the street, right? And if you can have a little bit of emotion in your face and have the tone of the photo draw us in because of that role, it'll help. So get the training first. Know who you are as an actor first. Stop rushing to get headshots so you can be submitted, because you're going to kick yourself in the foot. It's not going to help you, it's going to hinder you. So get the training first. Know who you are. Do some self-tapes. Work on some things. Share them with people and say, hey, how do you think I'm doing with this? Do I fit this character? Like if you're going for, I'll use an example. One of our actors, really passionate young lady, very good actor, like incredible. I love watching her perform. You'll know who you are in just a second. Did sides because she's always wanted to play a detective, something really meaty and gritty. But she's young and petite. And so right away, she doesn't look like, whether she has, and I know she has the life experience to probably kick butt in that role, but whether she has the life experience as a person for that role as the character, she doesn't look like it at that time if it's a really meaty, gritty detective who's got like some history, right? And so you want to pick things and know who you are as you go, and you can become anything you want to be as you grow your skill set. But at the beginning, kind of know who you are and have your training down so that you can know that, and then get the headshots, because headshots are expensive. And if you get bad ones that don't work for you, you're just paying another $300, $500, $700. So don't waste your money on that stuff until you're ready. And then the third one, these are just different examples of some people on our roster. You can look at the different faces on there and see who stands out to you. Now imagine a casting director gets 500 headshots sent to them, or 1,000, or 2,000. That's a blur of faces. Think about color, background, lighting. Everyone asks me, what photographer should I use for my headshots? Find the one that's right for you, but know who you are as an actor first, otherwise you're wasting your time and money. Play at home with different outfits, different looks. Jim Carrey said he used to spend hours and hours and hours in front of a mirror just manipulating his face so he had those micro expressions, because those are really key to a great headshot, in my opinion. You can look at those people up there and see who you think stands out. There's so many great headshot photographers in Vancouver, but you want to make sure you find the one that's right for you. So shop around, do your research. That's really important. There's so much wasted money, and it's expensive to become an actor. There's a lot of training and things needed. So really do your due diligence if this is your big dream. Yeah. That's my spiel on headshots. Let me see, is there... Yeah, Fabiana. Yeah, I love that. The headshot is really powerful. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, as soon as he sent that to me, I wanted to almost cry, you know, like you can see the dewiness in his eyes. It was beautiful. So the next slide is just the softwares. There's so many out there, and they're constantly evolving. I use this example all the time. So if you're my age or older, you'll know about Blockbuster. It was a video store. For any of you younger people who don't know Blockbuster, it was a store where you left your house, walked to the store, and looked at aisles and aisles and aisles of videos, and you picked one out and you took it home. And you watched it and you brought it back the next day. The gentleman that created Netflix went to Blockbuster, because Blockbuster was worldwide, huge. And the gentleman that created Netflix went to Blockbuster and said, hey, we can take all your movies that you have on your shelves and put them online for you, and people don't have to leave their house, and we can incorporate your movies with our platform. And they said, no, Blockbuster won't be shut down. And it was only a couple years before they were almost completely gone worldwide because Netflix. You have to be that as an actor, and these softwares are constantly evolving, so you have to educate yourselves on the softwares. Don't expect your agent to do it all for you, because there's too much. There's too many little things that are constantly changing. At the least, you should be logging in once a month to all the different softwares that you have a profile on. And if you don't know the difference between the different softwares, that's not gonna help you. Casting Networks right now is going through massive changes. They're worldwide. They've just launched in Canada within the last year and a half. They're still getting their footing in here, so they're mostly commercials, indies, and some foreign projects. Not a lot of principal yet, but they're creating a new worldwide software that works for the Canadian market as well, and that's gonna launch soon. They've been working on it for quite some time now, for about 3 years. And they also purchased Cast It Talent. So there's a lot of integrations happening, a lot of changes happening. And if you're not aware of those, your profile won't measure up because there's algorithms. So it's really important to know. Like Casting Networks right now, mostly commercials here in Vancouver, but it's going to change very rapidly when they launch their worldwide software. There's going to be some big production companies that only cast with casting networks. And if you don't have a great profile on there, you're already setting yourself back, right? So take the time now, if you have the time, while the world is undergoing quite a drastic change, to really look at your profiles and look at the different softwares and educate yourself on it. Watch all of their tutorials. Take the time. If you're not spending at least half an hour to an hour a day, if you really want to be an actor, a professional actor, and be on the big screen and make amazing projects, do your homework on all these things. It's important now. It's not just a piece of paper and a headshot anymore that an agent sends in the mail or drops off at the office. It's 2,000 profiles that are being submitted per role sometimes. So casting networks, mostly commercials right now, will be principal worldwide very soon. Casting Workbook has been around for 25 years. They've got commercial and principal on there. It changes. It's busier sometimes in Toronto and Vancouver. Again, do your research. Actors Access is the big one for principal roles here in Vancouver especially. It's different in every place. Like Toronto, there's a ton of commercials on Actors Access, but Vancouver, there's almost none. So it's really important to know those things, and if you don't know, chat with your agent about it, and make your profile conducive to that. If you are a commercial actor and you're not a principal actor yet, be on the commercial softwares and rock that profile, and make it show that you are a commercial person. Have the smiling, happy thing, happy headshots, not things. And get training for commercials. If that's something you're passionate about, do that. If it's principal, do principal stuff. Like, that's why I say know who you are, know your why, know why you're doing this, know what type of person that you want to be and what type of career you want to have as an actor. That's so important. And then convey that in every aspect of your life. Hold yourself as you walk into a room. I am an actor. I am proud of the education I have and who I'm becoming and the stories I'm going to tell and the lives I might inspire. That it's crucial. Like you asked about social media and things like that. Everywhere. Your profiles, who you are as a person, your mindset, the people that you surround yourself with. Guys, there's so much competition. If you're not aligning everything, you're going to miss out on great opportunities, and you might give up on your big dreams, and that's something I don't want to see happen. That's why I want to do more of these. And then there's Backstage. Backstage is like 95% US stuff, but there's some Canadian stuff in there, but they have great content on there. So I would be on all of these. I know it's expensive. But Casting Networks and Actors Access, you can have free versions where you can still submit. Casting Networks is $10 a month. Casting Workbook hasn't been super busy in Vancouver in the last little while just because Casting Networks kind of disrupted the market. But there's still great opportunities on there. And for one Frappuccino a month, if this is your dream, get on it. Don't expect your agent to download your profile and then upload it to an email and send it off. If you're really on a budget and you want to save that $10 a month, I get it. But take one extra hour shift or something wherever you work and put that money in. If this is your dream, invest. It's crucial. Yeah, it's necessary, super necessary. So Chris, I see that you've asked a question. Will you have access to your profile if I don't renew my annual subscription on Casting Networks? You can have a Casting Networks profile completely for free. Some people get Networks and Workbook mixed up. They're two completely different softwares, so maybe that's what you're thinking. Casting Workbook is the $10 a month one, and Networks, you can have a free one. If you pay more money each month, there's a couple different packages that they have, then you can have like unlimited photos, but you can have a free profile right now with 2 photos, up to 4-minute demo reel, and your resume and special skills on Casting Networks completely for free. So you can always email the softwares too and say, hey, look, I'm not working right now because the world's undergoing a difficult time. What are my options here? Like they're helpful, right? They want to help you because they want to keep you in their software. Sydney answered that question about Agency Click. Yeah, that's background only. Yeah, everybody does, Damien. Everybody gets Networks and Workbook. All the time my actors are like, no, I sent it to you on there. I uploaded my headshot. I'm like, are you sure it's not Workbook instead of Networks? And they're like, oh, no, I swear it's Workbook. And then they go, oh, yeah, and it is confusing. That's why sometimes I say CN and CW because it's a little bit easier, but then CW, we have 2 of those too, so. Yeah, that's why, like, go and look at each of the softwares. Learn about them. Dedicate some time. Know what is cast on which one. Know what your strengths are on each profile. And watch as they change. Log in at least once a month and make sure everything's exactly how you want it to be. And if it's not, fix it. And don't ask your agent to fix it for you. You want us hunting for jobs, chatting to casting directors, and gushing about how incredible you are and showing them your great content that you've created. You don't want us doing your spell check for you or compressing your files. Trust me, you want us searching, and we are, because that's what we're passionate about, is getting you guys in the room. Okay, next slide. Oh, sorry, let me go to that question. So the software I can use isn't limited by the software my agent uses. So, I mean, it depends on where you are. Softwares are different. There's different places have different softwares, but Casting Networks, Casting Workbook, and Actors Access is kind of the big three in North America. And there's others as well, but especially for Vancouver, at least all three of those are very active here. So your agent, if you're in Vancouver as an actor and your agent's in Vancouver as an agent and they're not utilizing all three, there's something up. Maybe there's miscommunication, because I don't see why an agent wouldn't be on all three. That would be detrimental to their pocket and yours. So yeah, maybe just chat with them. Maybe there's been some confusion in the past, because it's tough. There's so many softwares, right, guys? It's hard to keep up on who's on what software sometimes. Like, I love my actors to death. We get together all the time, and I know their goals and dreams and what their kids are named and their uncles are named, but sometimes I don't even remember if they have a demo reel on this software because it costs more money on here, and so we have to look. And so maybe there's just been a miscommunication, Damien. I'd ask your agent and just see. Yeah, so the next slide is social media. Sorry, that photo's a little blurry. I didn't really want to show ours. I just wanted to give you an idea. When you look at organized social media, it conveys a message. What I wanted Ignite to convey is that we care about our actors. We're proud of what they're accomplishing in life. We want to motivate them, inspire them, give them tips on how to make everything better for their career and their big goals and dreams. And so we've kept it with our colors and our brand and a very clean message. And if you're an actor and you are utilizing social media to submit yourself, or you're networking with people that you want in your inner circle, you want your social media to look like something that people want to work with, right? Like, if you look like a happy person and a lovely person who is energetic and passionate and is always training and studying and improving new things and sharing their ideas, that's someone most of us want to work with. And if your social media conveys that, and say they're looking at two actors and they're like, oh, I don't know, let's go look at their social media and just see what's beyond the headshots and the profile and the demo reel, and see who you are outside of the acting side of your life. And your social media shows your fun side and your family and all that, but it also shows that your big goals and dreams are becoming an actor, and every day you're dedicating a little piece of your time to becoming that. That shows them dedication, and we're looking for that right now. Like I said before, we get 20 to 50 submissions to join Ignite certain weeks. 50 could be, all 50 could be great, but we can't take on that many. And neither can casting. They can't take on that many people to audition, right? So you want to convey in every aspect, including your social media, who you are and what your big goals and dreams are. So that's really important. And decide who your social media is for. I have 7 different Instagram accounts for my different companies and my personal one. My personal one's like, yeehaw, woohoo. Nothing too crazy. But then my business ones are my who I am and what I want to share about my business. And you guys you're a business as an actor. So maybe have 2 separate ones if you really want to have a wild one, or just clean up your current one and make it really show that you're an actor and a human being at the same time. Just gonna see if there's any. Nice. Fabiana, stalk. You're scary word. Follow. Say follow. Oh no, that's great, Danielle. If you're in your late 20s, for example, with prior work experience in a different field, should you post any of it on an actor's resume, for example, being a teacher? Oh, that's a good question. So on most of the softwares at the bottom, underneath all of your credits and your training and your special skills, it often will have a box for professional biography. You could add that in there. They don't want fluff in there like, I love teaching because kids are so special and I love how, they don't want that kind of stuff, but maybe if they're looking for an actor to be a teacher in a show, that might give a little bit of an edge, but you definitely don't want that in the acting resume. You want it to be very clean and standard, like that one pager that I showed before. It's just the 3 columns. Just Google actors' resumes. You'll see exactly how it's supposed to be laid out. Very clean, very concise. Resume coordinator. Resume question. Do I put auditing classes in a resume? I probably wouldn't. I'd be, if I was, say I was a really established acting teacher and I was charging $300 for a course and I gave you the privilege of sitting in the back of the room to audit it for free, and you put it on your resume as if you'd paid and attended and participated, I'd be pretty upset. So you really want to be careful with that kind of thing. I would put only the things that you've invested your money into on your resume for sure, if that helps, Jessica. Okay, next page, casting directors. Casting directors are your biggest champions. They really love actors, but they work exhaustingly long hours. It's morning till night that they're working with people, different people. They have tons of pressure from these huge production companies that are spending a fortune on them. They're competing for different jobs because there's all these different jobs and the cast directors want to pick the ones that they want to cast for. And then they have all these people emailing them submissions, sending on the different software submissions. They have their own lives outside of it too. And then when they're done doing all those auditions and filming them, then they have to go back and watch them all and see which ones they want to share. So they're really, really busy. They've earned their place in this industry. They've worked extremely hard to get where they are. Nobody becomes a casting director for film and TV or commercials lightly. It's work and it's very competitive, and we have to show them a lot of respect. So this is again why I say if you're not prepared, don't even go into the room, because it's disrespectful to them and their time. They love you guys, they champion you, but if you haven't put in the work to become an actor, a professional actor, then you're wasting their time, and they want to give great actors who have put in the work the opportunity, right? So really think about that. Question from Tristan. How do you think the acting industry is going to be changed after the effects of COVID? Will things be the same or even more online dependent? I love that question. I have no idea. I think, it's just completely my opinion. I think the world will, once we're allowed to go out again and be in large groups again, I think there's so many projects that are brewing right now. Like we have so many, guys, so many self-tapes. There's 30 to 50 right now this week, just with Ignite. There's so many opportunities. Some of my actors who have never gotten an opportunity to audition or self-tape before have done them this week, because casting now has time, because they're not auditioning a bunch of people in person. They now have time to, did that just go off? No? Okay, I wasn't sure. The lights keep changing. Sorry, I'm new. Yeah, so I'm seeing lots of like video games and voiceovers and casting for feature films, and they're looking at people that they've never looked at before. So I think it's going to start the same again. I think there's going to be, as soon as it does start going again, I think it's just going to be business as usual, and then potentially some more unique projects on the side. Like, was it CBC just offered $2 million to various people in Canada to submit original content, and they're going to divvy up the money to projects that they want to fund for indie. So I think we're going to see a little bit of a shift in terms of where new creative projects can come online and things like that, but I still think it's going to go back full bore to where we were, but who knows? I mean, this could be a year, 6 months, 2 years. It could all change. We never really know what's coming, and that's why it's just to continue honing your skills and creating your own opportunities now more than ever, because we don't know. Yeah. Oh, wow, cool. I did not know you guys were cousins. Casting directors. Yeah, so casting directors, have the utmost respect for them when you walk in the room. They have, like I said, they've earned their place. They've worked really hard to get where they are. They care about you guys so much. They, like, I know I've been very fortunate to build some great relationships with some really extraordinary casting directors and who are humans in Vancouver, and I've come to really adore them, because the way they talk about you guys, it's beautiful. Like, you can see their energy and their passion for the actors and the project that they're working on. And then when they get people that come in and they're not ready, like, they understand if you're nervous, right? Everybody's nervous when you're going in. I'm nervous sitting here talking to all of you right now. I can't even see you. I just see a light. They know that you're nervous and you can make little slips and things like that. But if you're completely unprepared, it's taxing on them, because they want to offer the spaces to the right people. So have the utmost respect for casting directors. take their workshops. If they're offering workshops, take them. Then they get to know you and you get to know them. I mean, there's 10 principal casting directors actively working consistently right now in Vancouver. And if you can take all 10 of them, you'll get to know different things and you'll learn different things from each of them. So that's really important. The next slide, business of acting. Holy cow, you are a business. You're a professional. If you're an actor. I like to use words twice. If you're an actor, if you've put in the time and this is your big goal and your big dream, you are a business and you should conduct yourself as such. Guys, it's so crucial. This is a profession. It's like anything else. It's like becoming a teacher or a doctor. It's really, really important that you learn the business side of this industry too, especially now more than ever with more competition and the online softwares. I mean, I think it's tougher now than it ever was, and you have to really want it and have the skill set behind it. So take basic business practices. My favorite business lesson I ever learned was all businesses that do well solve a problem. That's why niches work so well. So we've done this before in some of our workshops, like McDonald's solves a problem of if you're hungry and you're too busy to make a meal, bing, that's the problem that they solve. A wedding photographer, what problem do they solve? I'm just trying to come up with the most random thing. These people are in love and they want to capture that moment for the rest of their lives. And the problem is that they don't want to forget. I know it doesn't sound like a problem, but these couple that loves each other, they're in the moment, so they can't capture the beauty of it all in their family. So their problem is that they're afraid that they're going to lose those memories. And so a photographer for the wedding solves their problem and fixes that for them. So as an actor, whose problem do you need to solve? Your agents, a casting director's, right? You want to have great content for your agent to submit you properly, and then the casting director needs to find the right person for the role. And so you want to solve their problem. They have very little time to look at a 4-page resume, to watch a 7-minute demo reel. So give them your best snippets in this beautiful little package and solve their problem. They don't have time to look at 2,000 profiles. I know they would love to because they really love you guys. They really do. Like, I love chatting with them. But you want to give them just what they need, not everything. You know, none of you need to know. I'm not going to be a better agent because I worked at McDonald's when I was 15. So I cut that off my resume when I started to become an agent, you know? Think about it that way. Okay, I'm going to pop back over to the question screen. Best way to get into video game acting and voice acting. So video game acting, do you mean like mocap, motion capture stuff? That kind of thing, Tristan? Voice acting is a whole other ball game. If you really truly want to be like a voice actor for like major Pixar and cartoons and things like that, you need a lot of training. Okay, cool, thanks. Yeah, you need a ton of training in that. You need to have great reels. I always say, if you're really passionate about being a voice actor, there's like 3 companies in Vancouver that do a majority of all voiceover work. And they have 10 employees, and those 10 employees each have their own reels, and they can each do 30 voices. So that's 300 voices that they already have that work there on a consistent basis. So to break into those is tough, especially there's not a ton of voiceover work here anymore. There used to be like 10 years ago, but there's not as much anymore. And so to break into that, go volunteer. Say, hey, I would love to intern with you. And then over time, you'll learn their trust, you'll learn about things, you'll hear different facets of the industry, and then you can decide what your strengths and weaknesses are. And then maybe one day they're like, oh gosh, you know, we need someone to be a cranky receptionist. And you can be like, because you've been practicing and honing your skills on that, and maybe they'll give you a shot. Yeah, I mean, it's like anything else. It's a business. Voiceover actor is a business. Motion capture, there's training for that. It's not like you can go to the school of motion capture. I mean, maybe there is. I only submit like our professional athletes and some of our actors that have stunt experience and things like that for motion capture. I know some of them have taken major training for stunts to be able to do some of those things. But again, it's just getting education. You need to have formal training from experts for both of those, the video games and voiceover. What do you think we could do in the time to keep up productivity or acting career? Create your own content, for sure, 110%. Get together with people. Apply for grants for projects like the CBC thing. There's tons of stuff out there. touch the mic. There's tons of opportunities out there. Create your own content, film it, but film it properly. This is what I meant about your inner circle. Find someone that has director training, that has equipment. Find someone that has producer experience and volunteer to help them. And then maybe when they do their next project, or you can pitch them a project and you guys can create something great together. We're really lucky with Ignite because we have a private Facebook group and some of our actors have created great demo reels together. Some of our ladies created a really funny comedic skit. Another group of our actors created another really great comedic skit with 4 of them in a room. It was neat. And then some of our other actors have written full-blown scripts and are recording it together and working on it and then sharing it with me so I get to know who they are and then we can use it. So creating your own content right now is really important, making sure your profiles are perfect. Networking for sure. Just keep learning, always be learning. I personally believe it's 99% preparation and 1% opportunity in this industry because the opportunities, there's lots of opportunities, but there's lots of people vying for those too. So you want to continue to grow every single day and be the best actor and person you can be. So when that opportunity does come, bam, you're right for it, right? So just keep learning, always keep practicing, keep creating. Yeah. Yes, there's in Vancouver, it's just BCF for background and Agency Click for background. I'm just going to jump back to the business of acting. So anything that you do, guys, anything we've talked about today or will talk about, or anything you do in your life, and if you want to be successful, find a problem and fix it. So just look at who you want to meet, and if say it's a director and you can tell that they don't have a huge budget for their project, volunteer. You're right in their books, and the next time they do have a budget for a project, guess who they're going to call? So always solve a problem and fix it, and try and fix it for that person. I just have a couple tips too. As an actor, as a business, you need to build a really strong relationship with your agent. I have a few tips on how you can do that. But first, I just want to jump to the next slide. Oh, you're already on it. Perfect. Yeah, industry expectations? Are we on it? Yeah, perfect. Cool. So industry expectations. I like to think of it like this. And I've told people with Ignite before. If you need open heart surgery and you have a buddy that owns a scalpel and he's super passionate about blood and the heart, or there's a surgeon that's had 11 years of training and 10 years of experience at a hospital, who are you going to let do open heart surgery on you? Your buddy that loves blood and scalpels, or the surgeon with training and experience? It's the same thing for casting directors looking at actors. You have to be a professional. You have to have the experience. You have to have the training. It just doesn't work otherwise. So stop having expectations of all these things just happening very quickly. It doesn't. The right opportunities will come. Slow down. Be professional. This is a career. This is a profession. Get the skills to do the job right, or don't do it at all, and don't waste people's time that are doing it, because some of our actors have been doing this for 10, 20, 30 years and training and learning and growing, and they've put their heart and soul and sweat and tears into it, and they've sacrificed things in their life, so don't take away that opportunity from someone else. Either dedicate yourself or move on, I think the problem too is a lot of us are told that acting is, oh, that's sweet, that's a cute dream. It is a career. We can see that with actors all over the place. It's a career. Don't treat it as a hobby if this is what you really want to do. Don't be laissez-faire. Do commercials and background if you want to be laissez-faire, but if you want to be a principal actor for film and TV, put in the education, put in the time, allow it to happen organically, but work really hard. Actually, Rebecca, is Rebecca listening? I think Rebecca's here. Her and I hosted a radio show together, and 2 weeks ago we had a guest on, and she said something that I'll never forget, and I'm going to mention it here. Don't think of it as your backup career or your hobby, or don't think of it as a backup if your regular job pays the bills and your acting is what you really want to do. Think of them as parallel careers. You can have two things happening at once. Just give yourself balance, take care of your mental health, and do it properly and slowly, because as you guys know, it takes time. to be an actor. So yeah, but think of it as a profession. Be like, I'm committed to this or get out. It's too tough otherwise. So sorry, going back to how to help your agent represent you better. I have just a couple tips from my experience. Check your phone and email several times a day, or have alert turned on from your agent. There's so many times when there's been a self-tape that's been requested or an audition that's come 16 hours before, and I cannot get a hold of the person by phone, text, email. We work really hard, like 12 to 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. Most times I'm working and submitting that entire time. And if we can't reach you and we finally got that great opportunity, I mean, that's heartbreaking for you and us, right? So please, 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 figure out how to set alerts on your phone from your agent so that we can get a hold of you. Makes agents and casting happy because they want us to confirm right away too. Casting has all these slots that they're trying to fill, like 3 to 5 minute increments, right? And the longer it takes for us to confirm, the harder it is for them to plan out their day and give opportunities to other people if you can't make it. So really, really important that you're dialed into that. Say thank you, be kind, professional, friendly, always. Even if you flop your audition, even if you completely bomb it, it's totally, just be kind, because the next opportunity, they'll remember that. Be polite. It represents your agency well. It represents you well. It shows that you're professional and you care about yourself and your career. Find your own directions to places. I get at least 10 calls a week. Hey, I can't find this location. You don't want me looking up GPS for you or going to translink.bc.ca to search in the trip planner. Plan ahead. As soon as you get on audition information, go look it up. Don't wait until last minute and then call your agent at 11 o'clock at night. They will drop you because we have so many other things to focus on. We can't be finding GPS. So learn to use GPS on your phone, learn to use TransLink, things like that. Arrive early to auditions. Too many times have I gotten phone calls. Oh, I'm 20 minutes late, there was traffic. Go way earlier than you need to. And I know it's hard sometimes because you have a 9 to 5 job and your audition's at 5 p.m. say, and your boss let you out at 4:30. If you can't find something that works around it, take some time until you can, because you don't want to miss out on those opportunities. It's so important. If a casting director is considering you for a feature film, they've taken the time to review your materials and contact your agent and ask for you to come in and meet with them and show your skills and your passion, and you show up 20 minutes late, you have to be something spectacular in that room. You know, people want to work with people that are going to make them look good, right? So it's really, really crucial. And if you're not ready for that, it's okay to take a break. Back out. Get things in order. Take care of your mental health. Pay your bills first. But don't commit to an agent and auditions and principal acting if you can't do that. Yeah, get your profiles constantly updated all the time. People always call me and say, hey, what's my password to log into my profile? That one hurts my stomach. Because if you're not logging into your profile and just depending on your agent, I know that I work 16 hours a day. I don't know that every agent does. I know that I adore my actors, and so I'm always looking at their profiles, but sometimes it's a lot to try and remember who's got their special skills and what demo on what and which headshots, because they cost money to upload headshots on different softwares. Guys, be diligent. Do that kind of stuff for yourself so that you have an incredible profile so that we can represent you properly. If we have 70 submissions in a day, and we can have upwards of, like, I remember there was one day, I think I submitted 70 projects, and there were still like 5 to 10 roles in each project. It was a day that I started at 5 a.m. and I didn't go home until after midnight. I was pretty exhausted. My eyes were like red, but I didn't want to miss any opportunities. And if you don't have your profile ready, when it's a busy day like that, I don't have the time to reorder your resume so it works, or download a new headshot and upload it. So really look at where you're at in your life. Take a break if you're not ready, if you can't commit. It's okay. Be ready when you do this. It's really important. I don't want you to miss out on an incredible opportunity because you weren't ready. And it could hurt you for future opportunities. So log into your profiles, know your own username and password. And if you don't, guys, if you have trouble with the softwares, contact the software. We don't create the software, we just use it. They'll help you for sure. Probably faster than we are because we're submitting. Try to stay available for your agent. Try and let them know your schedule. So if you really can't audition on Thursday, Friday, try and let us know that. It's tough because we don't always know when they're going to schedule them, but sometimes we can figure it out. And when you get an audition, don't reschedule it. Sometimes there will be 30 people that get an audition with the same casting director for a commercial, for example, and like 10 people will text and be like, oh, can we reschedule? If you really can't do it, don't be going for auditions or tell us that those days don't work, because it looks bad for all of us, and casting gets so irritated. Because can you imagine 20,000 actors being submitted for projects and 5,000 of them want to be rescheduled? So it's really important. Know your priorities and know where you're at. If it's not an emergency, email. That's just me personally. I adore my actors, and a lot of the times I'll get texts like, hey, I'm out for lunch. Remember when we went for lunch? Check out my hot dog. If it's between 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. Monday to Friday, I'm submitting and texting people and emailing sides and things that are really, really crucial for your dream and career. It doesn't mean that I don't want to chat with you. And I think this goes for every agent. We like our people. We wouldn't rep you if we didn't like you. But you want us to be submitting for your dreams. You've put your work in. So as sweet as that is, we love that you think of us, but you want us focused on that. Write an email. Just say, hey, then we can read those when we're not busy. But you don't want to be texting constantly. And try, if you have like 3 questions, try and put it in one email. Some people will email me 6 times in one day with a different question per email. I know a lot of my actors have come in and said, hey, my last agent never answered emails as much as you do. I get it, guys. Sometimes we get hundreds in a day, sometimes hundreds in a morning. We have to focus on the stuff that pays all of our bills and gets us to the life of our dreams, right? So you really want us doing that for you, trust me. So really think about that before you contact them outside of for work, especially on the phone. Immediately let us know if you're out of town. So many times I've seen on Instagram that one of my actors is in Mexico, and I've just submitted them for a feature film and made a push to the casting director. So bad. It's not cool. Let us know if you're leaving. Book it out. Go into the software. Most of the softwares allow you to book it out. Some are complicated. Take the time to figure it out. Don't ask your agent to do that for you. Go in there and book it out so that we don't submit you on those days. Because if you miss out on a huge opportunity, I mean, it's your dreams that you're dampening, right? Stay in classes. Never stop learning. The greatest actors on earth continue to educate themselves all the time. And it doesn't always have to be, like once you get the fundamentals of acting down, learning can be things like going and volunteering in a role that you could play, because it gives you the knowledge to build the character of who you're going to be portraying on the screen. Like life experience is so vital to being an incredible actor, being able to pull that emotion and knowing those things and adding value to the character. I really like if my principal actors email me once every 2-3 months, depending on how active they are, with new training that they've taken, maybe some new characters that they've been working on, some new self-tapes that they've worked on, all in one email, not in 7 different emails over 4 months. Try and organize it. Maybe put a reminder in your calendar each quarter to send your agent, this is where I'm at right now, and this is the progress I've made, and these are the projects that I've been creating by myself or with my friends, and what I've submitted for. Like, try and do that. Give us the space to be focusing on submitting you and contacting you if we need updates, but continue to update us, just not all the time. Like, I know some of you out there who I adore who are on this call right now, because I can see you commenting. You'll email me 5 times in a day. That's 25 times in a week. If I have 100 people that I'm looking after, woo-wee. Trust me, you want us submitting for you guys. Yeah, Damien, I like your point. You added a custom Gmail filter to label and mark important email from your agency. Great thing to do. And also, when you create an email address, it gives you a place to put a name. A lot of people have an email address that's like Sexy Starfish 401, and then their name is not their name, it's their nickname. It's like Mr. Crunk. Sorry, those are horrible examples, but just off the top of my head. when I'm trying to find you to email you and I've got 3 different emails from you and your real name isn't in there, imagine casting too. They're like, what? Who? I know this person sent me something, but I can't find them. Think about that. Every aspect of your life, if you really want to do this for the rest of your life, should be professional for your big goals and dreams. You could miss out on an incredible opportunity just because your email address was impossible to find or remember. So, okay. Sorry, I talked too much. Is there any acting coaches that Ignite recommends? Colin, I hate to recommend because I'm not an actor who's taken those classes, and I think each person learns differently. I'm the type of person that you could give me a socket wrench and a pickaxe, and I could go into the woods and build you a shopping mall. But if you give me a book on how to build a shopping mall, I'm gone. And different acting schools and different acting teachers teach in different ways. So auditing classes is really great. Talking to lots of actors is really great. I know certain casting directors have their favorites when they see them on a resume. But each one's, again, they're different. So just diversifying. Getting like the major basics down. I'll go through a list a little bit later of really what to, if you don't have any actors training or if you're at the very beginning, these are really the basics where you should start, at least from what casting has said, this is what I look for. Great point. Nice, okay, awesome. Perfect, okay. Where are we at? Self-tapes and condensing files. Quite often with a submission on each software, you'll get different content from them. So it's always good if you get an email from your agent saying, oh, you've got a self-tape or oh, you've got an audition. Don't just read the email. Log into the software that email came from as well and make sure you haven't missed any details. Sometimes, I don't know why. I don't know if it's because the softwares are always evolving or because casting chooses to share certain things on the software and not in the email. It's really important to look at all the details and make sure you know everything before you go into it. And if you don't know right away, ask your agent. Don't wait until the day before. If we have 50 self-tapes in 1 week from 50 different actors, due at different times, we have to be very organized. And so it's really important that you ask the questions the moment you find out about the project and make sure you understand it. And don't ask your agent right away. Search. Like, try and look through and make sure that you've done your due diligence, because I'd say 90% of the time when people are like, oh, there's no information about the accent I should use in there. As soon as I log in, it's there. Don't rush through it. Go through slowly. Again, you want us submitting for you, not looking at those things. So self-tapes, again, this is a huge thing. If you do a self-tape, do it in the format that they ask you to do. We had 33 people do a self-tape for the same project. I even specified in the email to everyone, please save the file in an MP3 format, voiceover, MP3 format, and have it be your name first and last and the character name, because that's what it was asked by casting. And I think my 10-year-old actor and a couple of my adults out of 33 did that. Everyone else sent different file types and didn't save it the way that I had specified in the email. So then I stayed probably till 1 o'clock in the morning, converting those files to the right file from 31 different people or whatever it was, and then renaming them because that's what casting wanted. If your agent doesn't love the heck out of you, they're not gonna do that. They're just gonna be like, you know what, I'm not gonna even submit him because he didn't take the time to do the one thing I asked. Remember, you have one agent, we have lots of actors, right? We're trying to take care of everyone. So get your things in on time, get them in early if you can. That way if there's any issues with them, we can fix them. And read through everything. Make sure you're doing it the way casting has requested it. Imagine if they get 1,000 emails and everyone saves it MAUV 9672, like their file. That's what the file for most cameras and things like that recorded as, right? Just a file number. If they watch that and your name's not in there and they're trying to search it again after they've downloaded 50 self-tapes, they might not be able to find it on their computer and you're losing out on a huge opportunity, right? Like, be very organized and professional about everything. Label everything correctly. And if you don't know how, Google it first and then ask your agent. There's always, Google everything if you can, because you'll always learn something. You'll learn what not to do and what to do, and you'll learn new things. It's great. And then if you still don't know, ask your agent. Yeah. Condensing files too. I always joke with my roster, I am not Google or Siri. If your headshot is too big for you to upload or your demo reel is too big for you to upload, Google, how do I make my JPEG smaller? How do I make this MP3 into an MP4 format or whatever it is? Google it first. I'm laughing because I've just converted so many files in my time and I'd rather be submitting. So things like that, just really do your due diligence, read everything that's sent to you, log into the software, and I know it's tough because the 3 big softwares, especially here in Vancouver for principal and commercial, they're all different, and I know it's tough, but learn about them all now so that you're prepared for when those things come. Yeah, and just don't wait till last minute for self-tapes because a lot of the times they'll come and they're not, like the sound will be off the picture or something like that just because the way you've converted it. And if we don't have the time to fix it, casting will shut that down and you won't even have the opportunity to submit anymore. So really, really important that you look through all that. So as soon as you get a note from your agent that you have an audition or a self-tape, go read everything. Even if you can't film it for 3 days, make sure you understand everything and what you need to do so it's at least in the back of your head. Yeah, because sometimes we can't help you if we have to upload 30 self-tapes by a 4 p.m. deadline. And you're calling us at 3 p.m. to ask how to do it. So it's really, really important that you do that work for yourself. Okay. My last little bit of advice is my last slide. It's the same thing I think I've been saying the entire time, is to take this seriously. If this is truly your passion and your big dream, and this is your goal to be a professional actor for the rest of your life, take it seriously, but don't put too much pressure on yourself. There's a ton of rejection, there's a ton of anxiety, there's a ton of pressure from everywhere. So allow yourself to enjoy the process. And that's why knowing your why and why you want to be an actor is so important, and reminding yourself of that when the days are tough and taking a break. Ask your agent. If you're having an overwhelming month with your family, tell us. And if your agent doesn't respect that, you may want to find a new one. Like if you need a break, I don't want to send you in there if you're not emotionally ready for something. It doesn't look good for either of us, right? So take care of your health first, your mental health first. Continue to learn, and then when you feel like it's all there and ready, then start going and pushing. But don't push until you're ready in all aspects, because it's tough. Yeah, be very prepared. So before, there was a couple of questions. I've been chatting with a couple of casting directors actually just in the last couple of weeks, and I said, look, I'm doing this live. What are the top 5 to 10 things you look for on a resume for training? And there's a couple right here that always come back as the same thing. Analyzing scripts, character building, developing a physical life for an imaginary being, and knowing how to do that. That's why, in my opinion, volunteering in different aspects on characters that you could eventually play, so great for you as a human being, for life experience, and for you as an actor, because you just can bring so much more. Knowing the room and the camera. So many people think, oh yeah, no, it's fine, the camera's over here and I just won't look. It's so much tougher than that. Getting training on that is really important. Look at the big acting schools in Vancouver, like New Image College who's sponsoring this. Look at their curriculum and what they teach, and see where you feel your strengths and weaknesses are. And go, oh, you know what? They teach all this stuff I didn't even think about before. It just opens your mind. Do a ton of research. Training, training, training. They just want to see continuous training. If it's been 3 years since your last training, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look like you have that continued desire to improve yourself. And I know it's tough because it's expensive. That's why you have to know why you're doing it. It has to be this mad, burning desire to never stop wanting to be an actor or learn. If you don't have that, you have to have one heck of a look or some crazy skill that doesn't come to the rest of us naturally. Yeah, a burning desire to never stop learning. Yeah, those are kind of the main ones, really. They scene study. Yeah, just like, oh my goodness, get them to do that, and do those short scripts, and film them, and convince us that you are that cop or that doctor or that nurse or that crossing guard. It could be 3 words, but it's an important impact on the scene. If you can't nail those, stop trying to do the huge things. Work on the little stuff. Okay. yeah, I mean, that's kind of all the main stuff I wanted to cover. Questions now? If you have anything about anything in the world, let me know. Boop. Thank you, Rodrigo. Yes, Tristan. Hi, Ron. Recommendations for equipment to use for self-tape. So a week ago, Dakota Dalby, who's an actor on a ton of shows right now, like Batwoman and The 100, he did a self-tape workshop on the same, that's why go like and subscribe to New Image College's YouTube channel, because they're doing all these things. They're gonna have all these actors that teach at the college giving tips, and Dakota did a great self-tape workshop and talked about equipment and how you don't need really fancy, expensive stuff. You just need good lighting, good sound, and good acting. Should we list years on a resume? I wouldn't. I wouldn't, because if you go through a gap, it might raise more questions. It doesn't really tell them that much, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. What's your favorite part of being an agent? My favorite part of being an agent? Oh my gosh. You people are amazing. Actors are a whole other breed. You have more emotion, good and bad, more passion, more empathy than most other, and I've lived all over the world and worked in many fields. You guys are neat to watch. Like I love when people come in and they've just gone to their first audition ever with us, or they've booked their first thing with us and they're like shaking in tears. Like I've had background performers walk into the office and it's the first time they've been on set as a background performer, and they're 16 or 17 and they want to be actors one day and they're just getting their feet wet in background to learn, and they burst into tears and they go, I got to watch this show that I've been growing up and watching and it made me feel so special and good. And like, you guys are just the coolest, toughest, neediest, but funnest breed of humans. I mean, it's great. That's why I love being an agent. You guys are just something else, and every single one of you is different. You're all very similar in terms of your emotion and how you want to open people's hearts. But you all have such a different story that makes you a different person, a different actor. That's why no matter who gives you advice, me or a casting director or your friends or a production company or whatever, you have to take everything with a grain of salt, because you are who you are, and that's what makes you a phenomenal actor at the end of the day, is those special things that you are uniquely as a person. That's what I love about you guys. No problem. Thanks, Patty Falconer Agency. No problem. Any other questions about resumes, headshots, self-tapes, anything like that, guys? Because I know I'm going to get at least 20 emails asking me about things one-on-one that I could answer to everyone right now. So if you have anything, any area, just let me know. Excuse me. Oh. Speaking of which, are there any workshops or online training that you would like me to create? I know Asha, our new agent, is working on the book about what production is like. What to do your first day on set, who to talk to, where to go, and she's going to do either train me on that or share the book with everyone on our roster, or I'll do one of these about that, or she'll do one. But is there anything else you want us to try and create so that we can help you grow as an actor during this time? Just any information for coaching and how to contact. Colin, how to contact who, love? Like how to contact coaches? Oh, Sydney, I love your question. Yeah, Colin, just let me know information for coaching and how to contact whom. Just let me know and I'll answer Sydney's while you're typing. Sydney, what is your biggest pet peeve for your roster to do? Oh, do I have to pick one? Things like when I say, I'm not Google or Siri, do that. You want me focusing on these great relationships and submitting you. But I think because of who I am, is when you come into my office and tell me that you have this big dream, and then you don't show up for yourself when I try and create those opportunities. It's not even a pet peeve as much as it breaks my heart, because I can see that you have this beautiful potential in you to get to this life that everyone tells you is impossible, because most of the world says acting is an impossible career, but it's not. You just have to put in the effort and the heart and have that why. So I think that's my biggest pet peeve, is when people are like, no, I'm definitely going to do this. Keep me on your roster. Don't drop me. And I'm like, if you need to take 6 months for mental health or whatever you need to do, that's totally cool. Just let me know so I'm not hustling to submit you while you're in Mexico or whatever it is. So that's my biggest pet peeve, is people saying, I'm here to work. I want to be an actor. This is my life goal. This is my dream. I'm going to put in all my effort, and then I do free workshops at least twice a month, and they don't show up in 6 months. That's my biggest pet peeve. Don't tell me you have a dream and I have the tools to help you get there, and then you don't show up for yourself. That makes me crazy. But I'm also not Google or Siri. Love you though. So Colin, you said about New Image coaches. Oh, well, I mean, their website has great information on it, love. Newimage.ca, I think it is. Right, Amir? Newimage.ca?
That is correct.
Yeah, and there's all the contact and stuff about their courses and everything on there too. On-camera fundamentals training. So that would be something that you would want to employ a professional who teaches that to do, because that's not an agent's forte, so I'd probably do a disservice to you to try and create something like that. So I would look into doing some professional training in that arena for sure. It's definitely not my forte. Acting, coaching, training, love. What are you looking for? What are you looking for in an actor? Huh. I think it's different for each person. Some people are very cerebral, and they come into our office with this gusto, but they don't know how to get it to that place. But you can see they have this passion. They just don't know how to bridge that gap. I love people like that, because I don't know. I mean, I didn't come from acting. I never wanted to be an actor or director. I didn't even watch TV growing up. We didn't even have one in our house. I come from a business background. I've started businesses all over the world, and I love business. But I adore people, and actors are businesses, and they don't think of themselves as that sometimes. And so I love the ones that come into my office prepared to work, have taken some courses, have gotten headshots, have done some self-tapes, whether they know if they're perfect or not, and they're just eager and they're hungry, and I'm able to bridge that gap for them. So that's what I'm looking for, is that fire. I'd rather work with you for 10 years and get you to this amazing goal than make a quick buck off of you in a year from some small projects and commercials. You know, that's not my goal as an agent. It's that progress, and that in 10 years from now, what could we accomplish? You know, that's what I love. So I'm looking for an actor that shows me that fire and is willing to show up for themselves. Do you recommend getting stunt training if you're an actor? Basic stunt training, I think, doesn't hurt. I mean, some of the roles that you go for, especially at the beginning, like there's always a cop or a security guard in a lot of the shows. So having your basic stuff, I mean, I probably see one in every 30 roles that says please only submit people with stunt experience in a couple different areas, but stunts is so vast. It depends on who you are too as an actor. Like, you need to really know what roles you're going for, what you can play. Like, we have several professional athletes that are on our roster when they're not playing professional football, and they do stunts because they already have the athletic background. And we have dancers that are super passionate about dance, and I don't know if she's with us, but yeah, and so they already kind of have the basis of it, but there's such a huge arena of stunts, like you holding a gun or doing like pratfalls, and then having full-on like SWAT and tactical training. Those are completely different things. So I think some basic stunt stuff, I mean, it doesn't hurt to be a well-rounded person and a well-rounded actor, right? It just could open up more doors, you never know. Plus it's fun, busting down a door. For self-tape, can I put commercial clip with dialogue along with other clips? For self-tape. MK, I'm not sure. For just to create your own content to share with someone, could you put a commercial clip with dialogue and other clips? It really depends on what for. Actually, I probably should have addressed this a little bit more. And yes, Timothy, it definitely, stunts is tough because it's dangerous. We all know that, right? So I would chat with some stunt coordinators. Like we actually brought in Thomas Potter. He did a free 2-hour workshop with about 70 of our actors. I think it was in January of this year. And he talked about how to get your feet wet in there. So again, volunteer with a stunt coordinator and help them out. Attend a couple of their classes and ask them those questions. Because they're going to tell you, because stunts is huge. Like it's so wide open. There's so many different things. Like some of our stunt actors have done a lot of mocap stuff because that obviously translate, right? So again, it's about building your package of who you are as an actor, but then going outside of that to be well-rounded. Sorry, so back to the self-tapes. So sorry, I should have probably talked a little bit more about this. If casting directors get 500 profiles that are submitted to them for a role, and they've never seen you before, but your look strikes them, and then they go to your resume and they see that you've got some decent training, maybe they could do this role, and then they decide that they're gonna watch your demo. Imagine if you have a 4-minute demo reel and you're going for a comedic role and your first 3 clips are dramatic and your comedic one's at 3 minutes and 32 seconds. The casting director's not getting there. It's like Tinder, guys. They decide in 3.2 seconds of you acting if they're swiping left or swiping right. Honest to goodness, I was so fortunate last year to dine with one of the directors of a major CW show here and his wife. And he's like, yep. He's like, the casting director will send me their pics. As soon as I hit play, if the person isn't what the vision is I have in my head, the voice, the movement, everything, within 5 seconds, I know, and it's on to the next one. His wife like laughed. It was quite cute, actually. She's like, yeah, no, he just whips through them. That's why you can't beat yourself up with rejection too. I mean, if you're a book reader and you watch a movie of the book, when I've read a book, you picture the characters in your head based on what you think. And then all of a sudden the movie comes out and they've cast someone completely different than what you had in your head. That's the same for casting, right? They've read a script and they see who they think will fill the spot. And you think you do a really good job at that, but it just doesn't mesh. You could have done the best job in the world, it just doesn't fit at the time. So you can't beat yourself up, you just have to continue growing. But stop sending 4-minute demo reels. It doesn't work. I mean, have one so that as you go and you're going for a lead, they're gonna watch a plethora of your stuff, right? But right now, especially when you're at the beginning as an actor, have 20 to 30 second clips max and have it start with your best stuff and label them properly. Be like dramatic cop, you know, and have that be 20 seconds the best damn dramatic cop you've ever been on film. And then if it's a funny clown, have comedic clown, and then hit them with the funny stuff right away. Even if you film a minute-long scene, cut out the wishy-washy stuff where you're still getting into your character at the beginning and get to the good stuff, but know that you can get to the good stuff if you go into an audition room. It's like the surgeon analogy, right? You wouldn't let your buddy with a scalpel just because he likes blood and hearts operate on you. You want someone with the right training and the skills and the tools. And just because this is an art form, it's still a career as an actor, and you have to be professional about it. So you have to get the right skills in order to do all those things, and you really want to show that, bam, from the moment they hit go on your clip. Don't have it be like, my name is Brandi and I love Earth. Here's me dancing for 30 seconds and then I'm gonna give you my acting. They don't care. Same thing with your resume. Who are you? Are you a principal actor that does incredible, meaty, dark, deep roles and you're ready for it? Show that first and foremost at the very top. Don't have that be buried. Some people send me resumes with like, I have 7 years of dance, 23 years of singing, and at the bottom is their acting stuff. And they're applying to join us for acting. I'm like, why would you not bump that? 30 seconds, you copy and paste and crop. It's the same thing with your demo reels, everything. Know exactly who you are. Go back and look at yourself today and go, who am I? What do I want? What are my goals? What are my dreams? What roles do I want to book as an actor? What do I want to inspire with the characters that I play? Now let me look at my social media, how I carry myself, the people I surround myself with, my resume, my training, all that. Does it all funnel into this beautiful little package that solves the casting director's problems? The casting director can go, this is perfect. I'm going to give it to the production, and then Fox or whoever can make you Leonardo DiCaprio's best friend in the next feature film. You know what I mean? So clean up all the extra, get rid of all the fluff, get the right stuff, put it in a beautiful package, and who you are and what your goals are at the very top. Show us that. Don't have it buried somewhere on the 3rd page. We're not getting there, and you're missing out on great opportunities. Sorry, I babble, because I care, I promise. Yeah, so MK, I'm not sure if you meant like to send to an agent. Excuse me. Sorry, Amir, I know your ears just busted from that. Or for like submissions to projects. I just need a little bit more information to answer that properly. Do casting directors take the time to look at all of the resumes of all the submissions, or is the decision to bring them based on the headshot? Well, so Erin, that's a great question. I mean, I think that individual, depending on the casting director, I know some casting directors that will only take on one project at a time because they know that they can't do their due diligence to get 20 incredible people to fit into all these beautiful areas of the script and get to see all these amazing people that have submitted. So they'll take on one project in a week. Where there's other casting directors that take on 3 or 4 and they're super gung-ho and super passionate and they're still just as caring about the actors, but because they've got this great workload, because we're Hollywood North, we've got people submitting from all over the place and casting all over the place. I mean, when we were sitting in the back end of Actors Access, we got to see what casting directors see, and I use this example all the time. Everyone on our roster's heard me say this too many times probably, but they showed us Project Blue Book, and there was like 4 or 5 roles. The first role at the very top for the lead, 2,500 submissions. The next role was 1,200. There was one that was 1,800. There was one that was like 500 and 800, something like that. Could you imagine being a casting director and getting 2,500 profiles? You can't even go through 2,500 headshots, let alone get to their resumes. It doesn't matter if you're casting 1 project or 4. So that's why stop rushing out to get headshots if they don't evoke something to pull you in, you know? Like, really know who you are. Do the steps right instead of rushed. I hope that helps. Sorry. I mean, the headshot, definitely that's your first window. They can't watch 2,000 self-tapes, but they might have a casting director and 2 casting assistants, and the casting director says, okay, I definitely know I want a redhead for this. And so the assistants will go in and if there's 2,000 agent submissions, they might go, okay, I'm gonna narrow it down, redheads only. Let's see how many we get, you know what I mean? And if you don't have all your boxes checked off on all the different softwares saying, yes, I'm a redhead, yes, I'm non-union, yes, I'm whatever it is, a resident or whatever they're looking for, yes, I have skiing as a special skill. If it's not in there and they narrow their search down from 2,500 to 200, because that seems like a fair number to look at all the profiles, if you don't even have that box ticked off, the computer doesn't know that you're the right person for the job, right? So that's why it's so crucial. Go right now and log into your softwares and take the next month and make sure they're all squeaked, everything in there. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't see how they could look at 2,500 headshots, then the resumes, then the demos. I don't think that's humanly possible. Covering a course on anxiety management. Ooh, nice. I like that. We actually had a woman who I adore. She's been on my radio show twice talking about anxiety, so I can actually share the link. I've shared it in our Ignite Artists Facebook group. It's a link to her giving some tips, and she also gives a free downloadable book from her website that talks about ways to balance anxiety. She does like pressure points and things like that. So, and techniques of like thinking, okay, I'm in this room and there's a light over there and my feet are on the ground, because sometimes we're all up in our head and our anxiety gets us all over the place and we can't be grounded, which is what we need in the audition room, right? And so she gave these amazing tips. Her name's Sandy Dow. You can Google her. She's amazing. She's written a book. I have a couple copies left, I think, still in my office, but I'll try and bring her back too. But she's also done 2 radio shows with my nonprofit radio show based on about anxiety. One just very recently for being stuck inside right now during this crazy time that we're in. So that was great. I did post in the Ignite Artists group. So maybe search radio show in the search on the Facebook group, or just send me a comment and I'll give you the link. Or you can just Google Teen Wealth, which is my radio show, TEEN Wealth. And we've got 4 years of episodes on everything from depression and anxiety to entrepreneurship and all that kind of stuff, because we've interviewed some incredible people over the years, and there's great content in there for sure. And if anyone wants to be a guest and has a great story to tell, we're more than happy to share your story too. How about covering a course on anxiety? Yeah, perfect. So I'll try, David, I'll try and get more of that. But again, anxiety management can be done in different ways. There's different schools of thought on it too. So it's good for you to do some research and find out what works for you. Should we have a separate action actor resume to our regular actor's resume? Well, being a stunt actor and being an actor and being a stunt guy, those are 3 different things. So if you're a stunt person, you will get cast by the stunt coordinators and get all the stunt training. And then there's the actor, and then there's actors with stunt experience. So it really depends. This is why I say it's so important to know who you are and what you want your skill set to be and what roles you want to go for and things like that. I know you. I know you asking this question. So I would definitely have your stunt stuff on have your actors training first, and then maybe that in there. Just because I think the roles that you could play because of that, and it would give you a little bit of an edge too. And it's really important to have that where it's visible. That's why guys, it's so important to condense the resume, cut the fat, cut the fluff. Anything that's not supporting you, it's just fluff. It just makes us think you're padding your resume. It's better to have 3 really solid things than 27 things that we don't recognize, right? It really gives us more of an image of who you are and what your goals are. So yeah, I would definitely have that on there for you, even if it's a small section. Again, it's a case-by-case basis. You have to know you and what you want to present. That's why it's so important to know who you are and what you want to present to casting and give them that nice little package. So play a little bit. Maybe do a couple, because the software allows you to maneuver things around, and then take screenshots and send it to 3 or 4 people and say, if you didn't know me, what idea would you get from this one page? Like any business proposal, it's like 1 or 2 pages, right? It's bam, this is what I want, bam, this is who we are, this is what it costs, these are my faults, these are my strengths. Do you want to work with me? So you want to have like a 1-pager. This is a tiny little package that shows exactly who you are. So yeah, I would definitely have it on there. But if you're going to be a stunt person, that's a completely different thing. So I don't think you would need to separate them. I think if you're an actor with stunts, it's good to have them both on there. Rebecca, is there anything in your roster you feel you're missing, would like more of? In terms of like actors? Or what, Rebecca, I need more. Sorry, love. I'm not sure. In terms of what like people are doing, or like the age and ethnicity and things like that, or? Uh-oh, you said yeah, and I said 2 things. People, types of faces. I know a lot of agencies will have like 3 of 1 look or something in skill set and age range and all that. I definitely try and keep it diverse because we have all ages, kids and seniors and everyone. But I'd rather have 4 people with similar looks that are really passionate and that I enjoy coaching and working with than 3 and 3. Like I'd rather 4 and 2. I don't know if the owners of Ignite would agree with that. They'd be like, why are you doing that? No, but I just, people, you can have 4 women that are the exact same age with the same hairstyle and the same eyes and the same hips, but they're completely different characters. They bring something completely different to different roles. So I just want people that feel like Ignite's the right home for them to join us. And I love working with kids, so I'd love to have more kids for sure on our roster. But I just love all people, so I don't think we have any gaps that are concerning me at this time. But thank you for asking. I just want people that are inspiring to others and to me, so I want to push even harder for them. That's really all I want at the end of the day. Tristan. Good question. Yeah, actually, on our Facebook page, let me take a note of this. On Ignite Artists page, not in the group, I will post a couple of things. I'll post the link to the Anxiety Radio Show, a link to download the book on tips for anxiety that's free from that woman, a really bad resume. Don't worry, I'll block out all the names and stuff, just to show you what we get and what we're dealing with 20 to 30 times a week, sometimes more. And then some that are really clean and clear. Yeah, I'll post those on the Ignite Artists Facebook page. So just check that in I don't know, give me a couple hours. Resumes. Anything else that you want me to share on there, guys?
Maybe just Dakota self-tape stuff.
Oh, Dakota self-tape stuff? Yeah, I've posted a couple links to Dakota self-tape stuff as well, but I'll repost it. Bye, Jesse. Thanks for joining us. Dakota self-tape. Anything else that we've talked about that... Sample resume is going to be on Ignite Facebook page. Resume, anxiety stuff. Awesome, thanks guys. And I just want to mention one more thing. If you're friends with your agent on Facebook and Instagram on their personal accounts, keep business and personal stuff separate. I have too many people that will send me stuff about submissions in my personal Facebook and vice versa, like personal stuff. You have to realize that we want the best for you guys and your dreams, and that requires us to be very organized and focused and focusing on the 3 softwares and the profiles on there and the submissions that are coming up and making sure casting is happy. So as much as it's lovely to oh, I'm on Facebook, I'll shoot my agent a quick, hey, can you submit me for this? Don't do it. Because we get, like, there's days when, I mean, I remember calling Rogers when I first became an agent and I went, can you tell me how many text messages I sent? And they're like, oh, there's an app where you can log in. And it was like 2,400 in 1 week text messages. Then I had over 100 Facebook messages, days worth of emails. So you really, you want to think about that. How can you streamline what you're sending your agent and what platforms are sometimes people send me Instagram messages about important things and I don't see them because I'm not on Instagram very often. I just do it to talk about Ignite. So be very careful where you reach out. Resumes, links to casting sites. So Tristan, when you say casting sites, love, do you mean the Casting Network, Casting Workbook, and Actors Access? I just want to make sure I'm... Thanks, Elsie. Yes. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. Just a list of them? Well, hey, I don't even know them all. I mean, those are the big 3, Casting Networks, Casting Workbook, and Actors Access. And then like Vancouver Actors Guide and things like that have a lot of great resources, and they post a lot of indie projects on there. Yeah, but those are the main 3. And once you're with an agent, like they'll tell you, get on these 3 and this is what we expect. I mean, if you're with an agency that doesn't use all 3, and then some, like I'm on random ones. I'm on, like looking on Mandy and Indeed and Backstage and all these different random places all the time. Once I've gone through the 3 main software submissions, just so we don't miss anything. But those 3 are definitely the main ones. Awesome. Anybody else? It'd be lovely if you could post either the links to the sites. Yeah, sure. Definitely, will do. Yeah, and take your time to look and see if there's tutorials and stuff like that, Tristan, because all 3 softwares are completely different and they're competing now and they're evolving all the time. Like we've noticed some glitches in them sometimes where it's like, what? We had that on there. We checked last week, and then all of a sudden it's gone because they've restructured their website. So you have to remember they're businesses too, right? So they're constantly evolving and trying to outcompete each other, and so that's why you guys have to be on top of it too. Be Netflix, not Blockbuster. Heather, what about resources for people north of Vancouver? How far north, love? Are you talking like North Vancouver or like Prince George? Because that's definitely out of my realm a little bit if we're going that far north. Thanks, Tristan. Thanks, everyone. Oh, past Prince George. To be honest, I'm not familiar with any. I don't know. You'd have to do some serious Googling on that because this is such a hub, right? Like everything is kind of based out of here and then sent to places. So I don't know if you're looking for a local resources. Yeah, I don't know what kind of resources. We'd have to be more specific. I know there hasn't been too many very often here. Yeah, I mean, you'd still probably want one of the bigger agencies in Vancouver because we submit for everywhere in North America. There might be local agents where you are. I know there's a few local agents and casting directors that live in the Okanagan that specifically do projects there. I have a couple actors on our roster that have an Okanagan agent because that's where they grew up and they were with them forever. And then I do all the stuff outside of the Okanagan. And we work together because it's kind of cool to do that. Have I ever read Being the Changing? Sorry, I'm getting blind. Being You Changing the World? No, I haven't. Should I? Jason, we're looking forward to having you up here too. And House still isn't on your IMDb. I went and looked the other day because I was submitting you for something. Calling you out, Jason. Go check that out. Make sure your profiles are all together. I'll write that book down. Being You, Changing the World. Being You, Changing the World. I didn't see it last time I submitted, Jason. I could be wrong, though. I've been wrong. I'm wrong once a day. Cool. I think that's all the questions. I think we've lost Amir. He's napping back there. Is the camera still on? No, I'm just kidding. It's like, you talk too much, Brandi. Yeah, I think, is that, can I say goodbye, everyone? I don't even know what cameras it pointed at me right now. I could be over here. They're all pointed at me. Oh, gosh. Bye. Thanks for joining.